Pat Lam has never been one to sugarcoat hard truths, and his latest comments on the state of New Zealand rugby have landed with real force. The former All Black and highly respected coach believes New Zealand rugby is drifting away from the foundations that once made the All Blacks the benchmark of the sport, and that a serious reality check is now unavoidable. At the core of Lam's message is the idea that New Zealand can no longer rely on its history as a guarantee of success. The rest of the rugby world has invested heavily, adapted quickly, and evolved tactically, while New Zealand has leaned too comfortably on tradition and reputation. What once felt like an unbreakable advantage has slowly turned into complacency. For decades, the All Blacks operated with an assumption of superiority. Elite players seemed to emerge naturally, systems were trusted without question, and winning felt inevitable. Lam argues that this mindset has become a liability. Other nations now rival New Zealand in player development, coaching depth, sport science, and tactical intelligence, and refusing to acknowledge this shift has left the game at home exposed. A major concern raised by Lam is the pressure on player pathways and retention. While many leading nations allow overseas-based players to remain eligible for international selection, New Zealand continues to enforce strict rules that tie All Blacks selection to domestic contracts. With European and Japanese clubs offering better financial security and longer career prospects, experienced New Zealand players are leaving earlier and in greater numbers. Lam believes the system is prioritizing the protection of Super Rugby over the well-being and longevity of players. In doing so, New Zealand is limiting its access to seasoned professionals who could add depth, leadership, and tactical maturity to the national side. There is also an underlying cultural issue within New Zealand rugby that Lam subtly points toward: resistance to outside ideas. Many New Zealand coaches are thriving overseas, contributing to successful systems in Europe and elsewhere, yet their voices are rarely influential back home. Innovation is often coming from beyond New Zealand's borders. While decision-making remains tightly held within a familiar circle, this inward-looking approach contrasts sharply with the strategies of nations like Ireland, France, and South Africa, who have embraced diverse coaching philosophies, long-term planning, and modern analysis. These countries have not only caught up with New Zealand but, in some areas, overtaken it. Lam's comments suggest that New Zealand rugby is no longer leading the global game, but reacting to it. Tactical trends such as forward-dominated power games, defensive systems, kicking pressure, and bench impact strategies have been refined elsewhere, leaving the All Blacks adjusting rather than dictating. Despite the blunt tone of his assessment, Lam's message is not rooted in pessimism. He believes New Zealand still possesses immense talent, rugby intelligence, and cultural strength. However, those assets will only matter if the sport is willing to evolve, listen, and accept that the old formulas are no longer enough. Calling for a reality check is not an attack on the All Blacks' legacy, but a warning meant to protect it. Lam's challenge is clear: adapt to the modern game, empower players, welcome external ideas, and abandon the belief that past dominance guarantees future success. Whether New Zealand rugby listens now or waits for harsher lessons on the field may define the next era of the All Blacks.